Today is Sonic 84-7 with this positive rant about things, right? About basically. Now people are saying people are Sony fanboys because they have Sony products. Please don't call them fanboys. Seriously, they're not fanboys. They just like Sony products because they last longer. I mean, I have no problem with the Xbox 360 and at the Red Ring of Death, and the PS3 I have no problems with, and the Nintendo Wii, which can play GameCube games, has no problem either. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about people who rant about the PlayStation 3. I'm done with Sony. I'm done with this. I'm done with that. Seriously, man. The reason Sony are doing that is because they're making money. I agree about one thing they fail at. I guarantee. But if you look after your PlayStation 3 responsible and don't actually overdo it with the internet, it's not a problem. I actually have a PS3, and I have a Sony PS3, a Sony Blu-ray player, and a Sanyo TV that's related to the Sony TV for some reason, I think. But I got Sony related stuff, like Ghostbusters is related to Sony. And yes, why am I bringing Ghostbusters into Sony? Well, because they used to do good audio sounds thing, and Sony was pretty good. Sure, they were a bit strict, but they had a reason for it. I want to show you something now. And I know you're going to say to me, why are you shaking? Well, I do that because I was born with it. But with a tripod, it shouldn't be a problem. So here we go. First now, I know you can't see it. See my PS3? I have no problems whatsoever with this console. It's a nice slim console, and it's really not so gritty anymore, it's smooth. There's the 360, which of course I have to be careful. There's the 360 underneath this one here. So you can see, yeah, this is the Xbox 360, no problems. The Wii, no problems at all. The GameCube games can be played on it. I have no problems with that. And I've had that for years and years, and I still have no problems. Blu-ray player. This was done by Sony. I'm not sure what the Sony is. There you are, Sony. Sony there. Sony on the PlayStation 3 there. And if you look on the TV, you'll notice it says Sanyo. Of course, this camera's not really good at picking up because I'm moving the camera about so much, so you know, sort of Sanyo. Right. Now, for those people who literally bash about PlayStation, my PlayStation does not work. Well, are you leaving it on all night? Are you sure you're not leaving it on all night? 24/7, 7 days a week? Because that's what bugs your PlayStation 3 out. That's what makes your PS3 broken. It's overheating the system. Same with the 360. I have no problems whatsoever, and this is actually an unventilated area. Like, I always got to keep the window open for the ventilation because of my cold. I took the fans out because it was ever so dusty, and dust can get up in your nose and stuff. But yeah, I have nothing wrong with PlayStation. I have nothing wrong with the Wii GameCube console. I did have minor faults with the Sega Dreamcast. Like, I admit, the only console I only had minor faults with was the first Nintendo and the Sega Dreamcast. Yeah, I had a SNES, I think I was on it, and it is a nice console, the SNES, the Super NES, or SNES as they call it in America, the Super Nintendo, short for Super Nintendo. Yeah, it was pretty good, and I had no problems with Super Nintendo. I think Nintendo is the new revolution. PS3, yeah, they basically bought out a PS3 player, and it has the similar features to the reason I bought the Blu-ray player is to make my PlayStation 3 last a little longer. So I'm already worried that it eventually will get worn out, you know, in the process because of the discs. So that's why I bought a Blu-ray player. I mean, come on, get over it. Buy a Blu-ray player, they'd be cheap. That's another thing I've got to nitpick. You people say that Blu-ray's really expensive when it's cheap. I bought that Blu-ray player, I think it was under 60 quid, or it was just $69.99. I think that was $69.99, under £70. That's cheap. That is cheap. The plate is actually getting cheaper. And so are the Blu-ray films. I mean, if you have a look at it, SONY Ryzak, or is it SONY Ryzak? Or SONY Ryzak, or SONY Serac. I can't get his name right, sorry. But anyway, if you look in his Blu-ray rant somewhere on, is it Sony rant, you'll find that in one of his rants, it's probably a positive one because he's trying to tell people that he's not a fan. But this is what I'm saying. I got 3 consoles. And that's another thing. People say that you're a fan for collecting stuff. Well, I do collect a lot of Sonic stuff, I will agree there. I mean, the Sonic t-shirts, the Sonic posters, Sonic pictures, games, videos, yes, all that stuff. I agree. But my basic rant is, oh, you're a Sony fan, Xbox is better. No, Xbox dies out. I'm a Wii fan. You know, you're both wrong. The Wii is revolutionised just as much as the PS3, and the Xbox is revolutionised because at the time when HD came out, it had better quality. When PS3 came out, Blu-ray was first introduced. It was Blu-ray was first introduced. It was a year after, I think. Yeah. Basically, it's not much to say. It's just that why would you hate on Blu-ray and say that's expensive? Like I said, I had to buy box sets of animes that are 40 quid. But I agree. With this person, he said, why don't you get it on the internet? Well, fortunately, I haven't got a credit card, so big boo to that, innit? I agree, and thanks for the comment on that. I really am thankful for that, because that is a good advice. So thanks for the advice. I can't say much words than people lay off the Sony fans, lay off the Xbox fans, and lay off the Wii fans. I mean, they just only want to play on consoles. I don't think they're Wii fans or Sony fans or Xbox fans. They're more like into the games of it. I wouldn't say they're fans. Not really. I think if I was to talk and someone was in this room and they said, well, is it true that the Wii is more superior? No, because the Wii is only superior because of the exercising things in it, and it is a pretty good console. Take the Mega Drive. The Mega Drive was a good console. It is known as Genesis in America. It's known as the Sega Genesis in America. Master System, good console. Used to have a Master System. I think it was in the families though. We shared the games though, and the Mega Drive as well. But I had a Mega Drive of my own as well. Sonic the Hedgehog on the Mega Drive was my favourite Believe it or not, the first Sonic game that came out on the Mega Drive, Sonic 2 wasn't bad either. And I'll tell you why, because it's epic. So please, stop ranting. Okay, I'm not a Sega fan, but I am sort of a Sonic fan, not much of a Sonic fan. I mean, I don't have 100 Sonic action figures, 1,000 action figures to do Sonic stuff. I mean, I haven't got loads of Sonic stuff, because if you see, I got Ghostbuster stuff as well. The Stay Puft costume, the Ghostbuster costume. I mean, you're talking, I even have a Slimer, Ghostbuster Slime Zone posted in the back. I don't just have Sonic stuff, so try not to judge me for being a Sonic fan. Because I can also like Ghostbusters, but that doesn't mean, you know, try not to judge me too much for being a Ghostbuster fan. I mean, I like Bleach, I like animes as well. It doesn't mean that I hate anime. But some animes can be, get really, you know, like the Guyver, I think it was. And some people said, I don't agree with some parts of the anime. It's getting rather boring. Well, you know what? You know what? Come closer and I'll tell you. It's not rubbish. It's just like that because it gets better at the end. Yes, true. It gets better in the end. Okay, I didn't say that because I didn't have a good view. Yeah, so it gets better in the end because animes, they do tend to suck a little because they get boring, but that's the whole point. It gets better as you progress through the anime. It's like when you're watching a movie. Oh my god, Jesus Christ, this is boring. Then you see the action and violence. Take Blade, for example, the third film. People thought that was absolutely, you know, it was completely boring in parts. And they said, I don't like the third film. Well, let me tell you something. That film was good. I loved every moment of that. Wesley Snipes playing Blade, you know, it was a good film. I have the old box set, you know, Blade 1, 2 and 3. And it's really good. I will say that Dawn of the Dead, I will agree about people ranting about Dawn of the Dead being rubbish. I mean, you people, you just don't know how great that film is. I give it a... I'm talking the old one because I don't know what the new one's like. Apparently it looks good, but I like the classic one. Personally, because it's my favourite, and George A. Romeo was my favourite for making those classic horrors. And yeah, there's too many zombie films being made. So yeah, stay around for part 2 of my video. I'll be making a part 2 because this is only part 1 of my rant of what about people hating on fans. Now I'm through with people. It's up here, you know. Oh, you're a fanboy. Pick on a fanboy. Pick on a Pokemon fanboy. Pick on a Sonic fanboy. Look, I know. I feel really stressed, but I'll leave it for the next one and see what you think. Should people leave fanboys alone? See you next time in part 2 of my fanboy rant. My positive fanboy rant of Sony fanboy and all the other fanboy rants. Yeah, so sayonara, muchas gracias for now. And all the good things to say goodbye.